They look like they came straight out of a fantasy movie: huge eyes, bushy tails, and mysterious habits. But these creatures are very real, and they hold some of the most fascinating secrets in the animal kingdom. Welcome to the world of lemurs, primates so unique, they can only be found in one place on Earth. In today's video, we're diving into 30 mind-blowing facts about lemurs that will leave you stunned. So get ready to journey into Madagascar's wildest mysteries, because what you're about to discover might just change everything you thought you knew about these incredible creatures. Lemurs aren't monkeys, and they're not exactly apes either. They belong to a group called prosimians, which literally means before monkeys. That's right, lemurs are considered some of the most primitive primates alive today. Scientists believe they branched off from the rest of the primate family tree over 60 million years ago. That's older than most species of monkeys and apes, making them living fossils in the most literal sense. But don't let the word primitive fool you. Lemurs have developed some astonishing adaptations to survive in the wild. Ever heard of a dancing animal? Meet the sifaka, one of the most iconic types of lemur. This lemur doesn't just walk, it dances. With arms held high and legs hopping side to side, the sifaka glides across the ground like a furry ballerina. It's not a performance, this is how it moves when it's not leaping through the trees. And speaking of leaping, lemurs are some of the most acrobatic creatures in the animal kingdom. They can jump more than 30 feet in a single bound from tree to tree, almost as if they're flying. You might think lemurs are just cute little forest dwellers, but some species are actually nocturnal hunters. The eye, for example, is the stuff of nightmares, or at least, creepy bedtime stories. With its huge ears, rodent-like teeth, and a long, bony middle finger, it taps on trees to locate insect larvae hiding inside. It's basically the woodpecker of the primate world. But here's the kicker, many Malagasy people believe the eye brings bad luck, and in some villages, just seeing one is considered an omen of death. As a result, this mysterious lemur is often feared, rather than protected. Now here's a love story that'll warm your heart, or confuse it. In lemur society, the females are the ones in charge. That's right, lemurs live in matriarchal groups, where the females lead the troop, get the best food, and even initiate mating. The males? Well, they often just follow the rules and stay out of the way. And when it comes to love, lemurs don't use flowers or chocolates, they use scent. Male ring-tailed lemurs engage in what scientists call stink fights, where they rub their tails with scent glands and wave them at rivals to assert dominance. Romantic? Maybe not. Effective? Definitely. But these are just the opening pages of the lemur story. We're just getting started with these 30 mind-blowing facts. From singing lemurs to ancient legends, hidden superpowers, and shocking survival tactics, stick around, because what comes next will blow your mind. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into the full countdown of 30 unbelievable lemur facts, starting right now. Yes, you heard that right, some lemurs sing. The Indri, the largest living lemur species, produces long, haunting calls that echo through Madagascar's rainforests. These calls are not random noises, they're coordinated vocalizations, often performed in duets or even family choruses. And here's the twist, these songs are used for everything from marking territory to strengthening family bonds. It's as if you had a national anthem, but for your backyard. Scientists say their harmonized calls can last over 3 minutes, and each family group has its own unique song pattern. It's Madagascar's version of The Voice, but the contestants are fuzzy, tree-dwelling tenors. Ever seen a ring-tailed lemur? That black and white striped tail isn't just for show. It's used like a flagpole to communicate in the dense forests. When a troop of ring-tailed lemurs travels together, they keep their tails high in the air to stay visible and connected through thick vegetation. It's like nature's version of a group chat, no Wi-Fi needed. And if a dispute breaks out? That same tail can be weaponized during stink fights, where males rub their tails with scent glands and waft the smell toward their rivals. It's part warning, part challenge, and totally weird, but it works. Wait, hibernation in Madagascar? Yep, the fat-tailed dwarf lemur holds a world record, it's the only known primate that hibernates. When food gets scarce during Madagascar's dry season, this little lemur slows down its metabolism and retreats into tree hollows. It survives on the fat stored in its tail, hence the name. What's even more fascinating is that they can stay dormant for up to 7 months. That's more than half the year spent in total energy conservation mode, snoozing away like a furry, living battery. In the world of primates, that's a superpower. This one's wild. Some lemurs have been seen rubbing toxic millipedes all over their fur. Not because they enjoy pain, but because the millipedes release chemicals that act as natural insect repellents. It's like bug spray, but way more hardcore. The toxins also have narcotic effects, so scientists believe the lemurs might get a mild buzz in the process. Whether it's self-medication or just a jungle spa treatment, it shows how resourceful these primates can be. Imagine learning to roll in poison to keep the mosquitoes away. Lemurs did it first. Under UV light, some lemur species exhibit biofluorescence. That means they glow, usually in shades of green, blue, or purple. The reasons for this aren't fully understood yet. Scientists are still exploring whether it helps with communication, camouflage, or even mate selection. But one thing's for sure, if you shine a black light in Madagascar's forest at night, you might just find yourself surrounded by glowing lemurs. It's eerie. It's beautiful. And it's just one more reason these animals feel like something out of a magical fairy tale. Did you know that giant lemurs once roamed Madagascar? Some were the size of gorillas. One species, called Archaeoindrus, weighed over 350 pounds and moved slowly through the forest like a modern-day sloth. These giants went extinct roughly 500 to 1,000 years ago, shortly after humans arrived on the island. Today's lemurs are just a shadow of that past diversity, but their strange behaviors and unique forms still echo that ancient world. It's like walking through a land where time froze and left behind living whispers of a forgotten kingdom. When danger is near, lemurs don't just scatter, they warn each other. Different species have different alarm calls for aerial versus ground predators. For example, a shriek might signal a hawk overhead, while a grunt alerts the group to a snake or fossa on the ground. It's a vocal survival system that helps entire groups stay alert and alive. Even more impressive? Lemur babies can learn these warning calls from their parents, proving that survival isn't just instinct, but also education. Those large, expressive lemur eyes? They're not just adorable, they're tools for complex communication. Lemurs often use long stares, blinks, and eye movements to convey dominance or submission. In some species, direct eye contact can even be considered a challenge or threat. And the nocturnal lemurs? Their eyes are packed with rods that allow them to see incredibly well in near-total darkness. It's like they've got built-in night vision goggles, perfect for life in the shadows. Let this sink in. 100% of the world's lemurs are found only in Madagascar and a few tiny surrounding islands. That's it. No lemurs in Africa, none in Asia, none in South America. This extreme isolation is exactly why they've evolved in such strange and wonderful ways. But it also makes them incredibly vulnerable. Deforestation, hunting, and illegal pet trades have put nearly every species of lemur on the endangered list. The very island that gave them life is now the place where they're disappearing. This might blow your mind. Lemurs have such an advanced sense of smell, scientists believe they can track scent trails in a three-dimensional space. Imagine walking through a forest and being able to tell not just that a rival lemur passed through, but exactly where it stepped, what tree it climbed, and when it was there. This level of olfactory precision allows them to track mates, mark territory, and even identify food sources from a distance. It's like a real-time GPS system, powered by their noses. If you thought opposable thumbs were cool, wait until you hear this: lemurs have a toilet claw on their second toe. It's a special grooming tool that no other primate has quite like this. This curved claw is used for scratching, combing, and cleaning their fur. But that's not all. Lemurs also have a unique dental comb, made of their lower front teeth, which they use for grooming not only themselves but each other. Social grooming is a massive part of lemur culture. It strengthens bonds and helps troops stay tightly knit. So yes, lemurs are not just smart, they're stylish, too. You know how dogs can sense when you're scared? Lemurs take that to another level. They release pheromones through glands in their wrists, chests, and genitals, and these chemical signals carry emotional information. They can literally read the room by sniffing the air. A male looking to challenge another can sense dominance or stress just by picking up a scent trail. Females in heat give off different signals that males track down with laser focus. In the dense jungle where visual cues are limited, this olfactory language keeps the lemur society running like a high-tech jungle internet. If you ever spot a lemur in the early morning, you'll probably see it sitting upright, arms outstretched, soaking in the sun like a tiny yogi in meditation. This sun worship isn't spiritual, it's survival. Lemurs are cold-blooded in the morning after a chilly night in the canopy. Sunbathing helps them raise their body temperature so they can become active again. This posture is so iconic that it's sometimes nicknamed the lemur lotus pose. It's practical, but it also adds to their mysterious and almost sacred presence in the wild. You might not expect a forest creature to do math, but lemurs can distinguish quantities. In lab tests, lemurs were able to choose larger numbers of food items over smaller ones, even when the visual difference was subtle. This ability helps them make smart decisions in the wild, like picking the bush with more fruit or avoiding areas with too many rivals. Their brains may be smaller than a monkey's, but they've evolved some surprising mental skills that are perfect for surviving in Madagascar's unpredictable forests. In the early days of life, baby lemurs don't ride on their mom's back, they cling to her belly like tiny passengers. This belly cling technique keeps the infant protected and secure while the mother leaps through trees. As the infant grows stronger, it eventually transitions to riding piggyback. But that first stage is critical, it's a test of strength, grip, and instinct. And here's the twist, if a lemur mom has twins, she'll often be forced to choose which one survives if resources are limited. It's harsh, but in a world of constant threats, only the strongest make it. Most lemurs avoid water like the plague. In fact, rivers and lakes often act as natural barriers that keep different lemur populations isolated. That's one reason Madagascar has over 100 species of lemurs, all uniquely adapted to their small territories. But if necessary, lemurs can swim, though awkwardly. They prefer to stay dry, and many have never even seen large bodies of water. This aversion to swimming is part of what kept them isolated and evolving in total secrecy for millions of years. Yes, lemurs love to dance, but some species use it as a form of flotation. Males perform elaborate movements, hops, and tail displays to show off their agility and strength. These performances are all about proving they're worthy partners. And sometimes, they go even further, spreading their scent mid-dance to leave a chemical signature behind. It's like dancing and leaving your phone number at the same time. These mating rituals can be competitive, with males battling for the attention of a single dominant female. The hands and feet of lemurs are specifically designed for gripping rough bark and narrow branches. Their fingers are long, flexible, and strong, perfect for life in the treetops. Some lemurs, like the bamboo lemur, even have specialized teeth and jaw muscles for chewing through tough, woody plant material. That's right, lemurs don't just survive in trees, they dominate them. Their adaptations are so precise that each species often occupies a slightly different layer of the forest, like a well-organized apartment complex in the jungle. Different species of lemurs specialize in different diets. Some eat bamboo, others prefer fruit, leaves, or even insects. The gentle cockerel sifaka, for instance, has been observed picking only the freshest, tenderest leaves from the top branches. Meanwhile, the red-ruffed lemur is a fruit connoisseur, capable of tasting whether a fruit is ripe just by smell. If it's not perfect, they'll toss it aside. This pickiness also plays a key role in seed dispersal. Lemurs are critical to the survival of Madagascar's forests. Without them, many tree species would simply vanish. In many species, lemurs form close, lifelong bonds. These aren't just romantic relationships, they're deep friendships built on trust, grooming, and mutual defense. Some pairs have been observed sticking together for years, even sharing food and standing up to rivals as a team. These relationships are key to group survival. In the chaos of the jungle, having someone who always has your back? That's the difference between life and death. Lemurs aren't just odd primates, they're ancient survivors. These creatures split off from the rest of the primate family tree over 60 million years ago. That means lemurs were already thriving while dinosaurs' extinction was still fresh history. They reached Madagascar before any other primates and evolved in total isolation, untouched by monkeys, apes, or humans for tens of millions of years. So when you look at a lemur, you're not just looking at a cute animal, you're staring into a living time capsule. They've kept behaviors and traits that other primates lost eons ago. Lemurs are the original blueprint of what primates once were. Forget boxing or wrestling. Lemurs have a battle tactic that's as bizarre as it is hilarious: stink fights. Male ring-tailed lemurs rub secretions from scent glands onto their tails, then wave them at rivals. It's a showdown of stench. The stinkier lemur wins. These fights are usually non-violent, but incredibly effective. They determine social rank, territory rights, and even mating privileges. And the best part? These scent duels can go on for hours, each male flinging his tail like a furry perfume. Bottle in slow-motion combat. Only in Madagascar could dominance smell like victory. In a recent twist straight out of science fiction, researchers discovered that lemur vocalizations may encode genetic relationships. That means they don't just scream randomly, they produce sound patterns that align closely with their DNA. Family members sing in subtly similar tones. This might help lemurs recognize kin, avoid inbreeding, and strengthen group identity. It's like every family has its own vocal fingerprint. And while humans need ancestry kits and DNA tests, lemurs just need to listen. It's evolution's most musical secret code. In the lemur world, females don't just lead, they dominate. In almost every species, the top female makes all the big decisions: where to feed, when to move, who gets first dibs on food, and even who gets to mate. Males often take a submissive role, waiting for the female's cue before acting. And if a male steps out of line, the female can exile him from the group entirely. This matriarchal structure isn't just unusual for primates, it's rare across the animal kingdom. And yet for lemurs, it's the natural order. The jungle crown? It's proudly worn by the queens. Despite their small size, lemurs live in societies with detailed hierarchies, social roles, and even alliances. Groups may include scouts, defenders, and central caretakers. Some individuals act as mediators during fights, stepping in to calm tensions with grooming or vocalizations. In larger groups, there are sub-leaders under the alpha female who help manage daily life. Lemur societies are dynamic, constantly shifting and adapting. And the more scientists study them, the more they realize, lemurs aren't just instinct-driven animals. They're social strategists playing a long game of survival. Here's the sobering truth: over 90% of lemur species are currently threatened with extinction. Habitat destruction, poaching, and illegal wildlife trade have devastated populations across Madagascar. Forests are being burned, lemur groups scattered, and species vanish before we even have a chance to name them. Some scientists believe we may lose entire species in the next decade. That's why conservation efforts, breeding programs, habitat protection, education, are more urgent than ever. Because losing lemurs means losing a living piece of Earth's evolutionary story, one that can never be replaced. Yes, lemurs have baby talk. When communicating with infants, adult lemurs use higher-pitched, softer vocalizations, similar to how humans speak to babies. These nurturing tones help comfort and teach the young, guiding them through early learning and social interaction. Over time, the baby lemurs begin mimicking these sounds, slowly learning the vocal patterns of their troop. It's one of the few examples in the animal kingdom where speech seems to evolve with context and care. Lemur parenting isn't just survival, it's communication wrapped in affection. Every time a lemur eats fruit and drops a seed, it plants a new tree. Over generations, lemurs have shaped Madagascar's forests, spreading seeds farther than birds and ensuring rare plant species continue to grow. Some trees have even evolved seeds that can only sprout after passing through a lemur's digestive tract. Without lemurs, these trees can't reproduce. So, in a way, lemurs are not just part of the forest, they built it. They're engineers of the ecosystem, silently maintaining the balance of life in one of the most diverse habitats on Earth. Lemurs display a range of emotions that rivals those of more advanced primates. They giggle during play, especially young ones wrestling and tumbling. They mourn their dead, staying near a fallen troop member for hours or even days, sometimes grooming the body or sitting quietly in what looks like a moment of grief. These behaviors show that lemurs have complex emotional lives. They're not robotic creatures driven by instinct, they feel. They connect. They remember. And that emotional depth is what makes their possible extinction even more heartbreaking. Here's the final twist: lemurs are our primordial cousins. They represent the earliest form of primates that eventually gave rise to monkeys, apes, and yes, humans. They're like a living mirror to our ancient past. They may not look like us, but hidden in their DNA are clues to who we once were. When we save lemurs, we're not just saving another species, we're preserving a piece of our own evolutionary history. These wide-eyed creatures, leaping through the trees of Madagascar, are whispering to us from the distant past. And the question is, will we listen?